What's up, everybody? Another Sunday means another Q&A video. I know, obviously, RLCS is going on this weekend, and you guys don't get to see this until probably after, but let's get some questions ready for you. What's up, everybody? Lawler here. Q&A Sunday. As always, if you guys want to submit your own questions to be answered next week, comments down below. Question 1. Malakin, hey Law, really love all the effort and content. Thank you so much. I got a question this week. I'm GC2 in Europe and looking for coaching to get better. I was asking myself, would it make a difference getting a coach from an NA coach, or would it be better to get one from EU since there are some differences in playstyles of regions? Would love to hear your opinion on this one. In my opinion, the best coaches will not use their own style. They will try to make you as good as possible based upon your strengths and your weaknesses, and then also provide insight as to why or how. Now, I will say I do agree with you. There is going to be some coaches that have certain styles or certain things that they prioritize, and that I don't think you can ever get away from. I don't think there is going to ever be a unbiased, like, this is the most optimal way, because the game is so reactionary. I will say my best recommendation is, if you are going to get coaching advice, try to find someone you think that you will mesh with well on a personality level. If you can get along as people rather as coach and person learning, then I think you're going to learn and retain the information on a much better level. I think that should be priority. Try to find someone that you think you would mesh with really well on a personality level and then go into it. But ultimately, I don't think it really matters. I think anytime you can get insight from someone of that level, someone that you revere as really high caliber, someone that you want to learn from, I don't think it matters that you are NA related, if I'm being 100%. I will say, you being EU, you're probably going to want an EU coach just due to time zone reasons. But primarily, man, I honestly don't think it matters. If you're picking a pro player that's coaching and you're willing to put the money in and effort in, then I honestly don't think it matters. So ultimately, man, it's entirely up to you. GC2 grind, trying to push up a little bit. I wish you the best of luck. Up next comes from Bearlight Gaming. Appreciate you stopping by the streams as well, man. So keep it content. Good work. In your opinion, what are the top 3 teams in North America that missed out on the Regional 1 event? And you expect to see in Regional 2? I don't have expectations. I'll put that out there right now. That's probably why I'm not going to answer it. I do not have any expectations of teams getting auto bids in, without a doubt. Unless you are a team that is like a top 10 continuously, then yes, I expect to see you in the top 16. 8 of those are already filled because of the results that they had last season. So if I look at Regional 2 right now, teams already in the main qualifier, your top 8: Space Station, Energy, FaZe, Xset, Envy, V1, G2, True Neutral. Those are out of my brain. In the closed qualifier is the teams that were in the bottom half of that, which is the 16. So 9 through 16, which is Ghost, Sonics, Torrent, Rogue, Charlotte Phoenix, Shopify Rebellion, Integrity, and Team DVS. If you're asking me who I think is going to make it into the main event, that is very difficult, because right now I do think there is probably a good handful or 2 of teams that are all fighting for those same spots. You can basically look at your top seeds on the bracket, and that will give you a general idea of who's going to be in those conversations. Team Accelerate, United, Vibrance, Nefarious, Oxygen, PK, Kansas City Pioneers, using a 4-man roster, which we'll talk about in just a second here. RBG. Teams of that level are the ones you should essentially be expecting. Do I think any one or the other is better or not? I think it comes down to consistency. I think all the teams competing at that caliber for top 16 spots are talented, without a doubt. It just comes down to what version or what iteration of them are we going to get. The one that I think obviously everybody's talking about is Shopify Rebellion. Same thing like Vitality. Talk about that on Monday, where they, very talented team, had an off day. I expect Shopify Rebellion to be a top 8 team, but the results recently have not been there. Playstyle right now isn't working. Gotta revamp, gotta go back to the replay analysis, and then bring it and put it into practice. So there is no real particular teams, I would say, that missed out. But when you're talking about 32 teams, that's a lot just in general. And I really only care about top 16. Top 16s are the ones that are competing for main event spots. And as of right now, top 16, you can talk about those 6 additional or 7 additional I mentioned, along with the ones that are going to be in those spots that are fighting against them. Should be pretty exciting Rocket League this season, man. If you guys didn't watch my video yesterday, go check it out because it is kind of ranty. But I talk about how this season is spicy, and I'm all about it. Up next comes from Bomb. Says best goal line defender in RLCS. Ooh. There's a couple that really catch your eye based upon how they play both offense and defense. First Killer, as you mentioned, is very, very good on defense. God, who else am I thinking of? Archie also does some really incredible things. Anybody on V1, depending on the moment, gives you a little bit of a butt clench moment, but they clutch up. You could talk probably on that squad. Torment continues to do some things that shock me on defense. Same thing with even Gimmick at times. Because even though Torment's been putting in a lot of like clutch goals on offense, he's still back on defense. You look at some of the high prolific teams, Squishy's defense is some of the best in North America. I don't think he gets enough credit. Squishy's insane. Over in Europe, Archie, I think I already mentioned. If I didn't, I really like Archie on defense. Pretty much anybody on BDS. Vitality, Fairy Peak doesn't get enough credit just in general, even though he's still revered as one of the best players in the world. Still not enough credit because of how good he is. Going down the list, Dignitas, I really like apparently Jack on defense. He does some pretty exciting things. Astral as well. A lot of those like really highly mechanical players are really good on defense as well. Goal line defense, they just do some stuff based on their rotation where they're like confident in their ability to get there, and it works out. Up next comes from Lint Dog. How do orgs make money from their Rocket League teams? Do they get a cut of the prize money, or do they just hope they get better sponsorship deals for having an RL team? So this one's pretty unique. If you guys want me to do a full-fledged video on this, and maybe we can talk to an org owner, let me know in the comments down below. But general TLDR is most organizations allocate money from their funds into specific things. So like if I'm an esports organization, I'm going to fund X amount of money to this esport, X amount to this esport, X amount to this esport. That is our budget for the year. They can increase that budget based upon if this one team is doing really, really well and it is beneficial for the exposure that they're receiving. So if I'm an organization and I'm a team that's always top 4 in the RLCS, I'm probably going to allocate more funds to Rocket League than I am something like Overwatch, etc., depending on what you're doing. Although with franchises, that's a terrible example. So compared to Rainbow Six Siege, if my Siege team is doing poorly, but my Rocket League team is doing great, yeah, let's build up our Rocket League team to counteract. And based upon that, you make adjustments every single year. Most organizations do not take a prize cut. Some might. It depends on the contract. But they basically get their investment back by you doing well as streaming and getting their name out there. Most organizations receive their money from sponsorships. If I'm a organization and I put your logo here, how much are you going to pay me? Because that logo is going to show every event, and we're a really good team. We're top 4 in North America. Every time we go to an event, every time we play on the field, the fact that your logo is going to be in-game on our decal is worth a lot of money. How much you want to pay? And the better teams perform, the better that deal goes hand in hand. So some orgs take prize money. Some orgs have certain things. Some organizations take lesser salaries and do incentive-based. If you guys haven't seen like pro player salary video that I did, how much do pro players make, go check that out as well and related. It might give you some insight as well. Up next is a paragraph and a half from Yakubo and says, love the content, helps us a ton. Yo, greatly appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time. Few questions. What is your take on the best of sets that are being done in regionals now? You think it gets boring to watch the same 2 teams play for 3 hours straight? Do you think a best of 9 might be a better solution, or do you have any other ideas? If they don't do double elimination, I actually really like best of set. It gets rid of the advantage. It gets rid of any questions whatsoever of between these 2 teams, who's the better team. So I do like that. For grand final single elimination, I really like best of set. I think it's a really good idea. Also sets a precedent for the world championships, which they're going to do best of sets there as well. I do and don't necessarily mind 1 game advantage if you do like best of 9s or something. But at that point, you then run into the continuous issue of at what point do we stop doing best of 7, best of 9, best of 11, best of... and it just keeps going. Where do you set that limitation? So I do feel like some of those could be a problem. I do like best to set those. These are going to be hype. These are going to be good for storyline. It provides a lot of exciting moments. Better than double elimination. We don't need to do on that rant again. But there's a lot of different things I think that the best of set does. And the number one goal is to make sure the best team gets the victory. And best of set does a good job of that. You say, regarding double elims, would you still dislike the format if the grand finals are done on a separate day altogether? This actually carries to the other one. I do think double eliminations would be better if they were on another day, but why dedicate another day to that when you could just do a best of set? And I think that's why best of sets are great, because best of sets to me still give the excitement and everything people want in a single elimination as well as a double elimination, and then make sure they cut out all the extra fluff and save it for the grand finals. So I'm a pretty big fan of best of sets and how they accomplish what we want. And at the end of the day, that's just making sure the best team wins. Last but not least, you say you're from Asia, and we had our first RLCS regionals last Sunday. I saw it. It was amazing. Awesome to see some of these other regions play. We're currently lacking way behind most of the other regions, and I'm glad you have that perspective because it will make you humble and better and work harder. Do you have anything to say to these teams in Asia to give them motivation? If you're looking for motivation from me, you're already screwed. Jokes aside, I'll try to give it my best shot, but primarily, you've been waiting 5 years for this moment. You've been waiting for 5 years to get a chance to actually compete in the RLCS. Do not waste it or embarrass your region. Work hard, practice, do everything you can. VOD review, late nights, whatever you got to do to make sure you're the best prepared. Ask for scrims from teams across the international seas. Find ways to get that experience the best you can, because there is going to be some teams that have gone to DreamHack Montreal that do have a little bit of experience, even if it was almost 3 years ago. That stuff is invaluable. It is going to be probably a show the first time you guys play at international competitions. Look at OCE, look at SAM. It happens to everybody. You are there to, one, have a good time and celebrate your accomplishments, and number two, gain experience. You go there, you soak up all the knowledge, you do everything in your power to talk and build relationships and network with the high profile people. You do your absolute best to get your name out there. The best example I can give you, how many of you know most of the rosters for OCE? But how many of you know CJ and his walkout with the car? There's a difference. Showcase your personality, be personable, work hard, and try to make a big moment happen. It's a big stage. It's intimidating, but at the end of the day, have fun. It's a brutal career to be a part of. But honestly, you have an opportunity to not only make your region proud, but also yourself. Showcase all that hard work is not for waste. And if you do end up losing, just use it as motivation and a reason to grind even harder. That is hopefully the best advice I can give, and I also hope it lives up to your expectations. Also, last but not least, there was not too many questions in this video because all you were like, I can't wait till Lawler makes a video on the FaZe NRG drama. What's going on with that? Two things. Number one, I did make a video. You guys watched it a lot. Thank you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. Energy versus FaZe rivalry should be dope. Second thing, we got a little bit more going on in Europe. A little bit of drama. Probably not as bad as FaZe and Energy, but still a little bit. People calling each other out for pulling RJ45s. If you don't know what that is, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, and you don't miss out on tomorrow's recap video. Should be a good one. But with that said, that's going to wrap it up here. As always, if you guys have additional questions, comments down below. Thumbs up, subscribe, notifications, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.